Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's Mystery Mystic Monday reading, we are exploring the seemingly curious and mysterious deaths of the 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans. I say seemingly because many folks have already made up their minds as to what happened, and I'll catch you all up on what I mean by that during the reading. 3 friends, Ricky Johnson, age 38, Clayton McGeeney, age 36, and David Harrington, age 37, were last seen alive on Sunday, January 7th, 2024, celebrating their favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs, winning against the Las Vegas Raiders. They likely died in the wee hours of Monday morning on January 8th, and a death investigation is underway, pending toxicology and the full autopsy report. The home's renter, Jordan, is under a cloud of suspicion, but his family and law enforcement indicate he did not cause the 3 men's deaths. In fact, law enforcement has said that they do not suspect foul play. Another friend left the house around midnight and said the 4 men were up watching Jeopardy! After 2 days of the men's loved ones trying to reach out to them, the police were called to do a welfare check. It was discovered that one of the men was deceased on the back porch, while the other 2 men were found in the backyard. The renter had been in the house for 2 days and claimed to not have known his friends had died or were in the backyard. It was Clayton's fiancée who called the police after breaking into the lower level of the home through a window, and she was the one who discovered a body on the back porch. The temperature lows for Kansas City, Missouri on that particular time or day was a low of 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. All right, friends, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so first and foremost, my sincerest condolences to the loved ones, friends, family members of these 3 gentlemen, okay? I have to first and foremost say that. Thank you for your divine prophecy, Spirit. And we'll just see. Okay, just taking in what I'm seeing here on just looking at the cards, and I'm going to zoom in so you all can see them a little bit better, okay? But I'm going to say this. I am not readily seeing anything that feels nefarious at this point. I mean, the skull card does represent death, but we'll talk about that in a moment. We'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, so we have the Sun, and right off the bat, I'm getting a sense that this was a true and genuine friendship amongst these men, including the home renter, okay? That's what I'm picking up on here. One of the key words that goes with the Sun card is friendship. Another one is clarity, like we will get clarity around what has happened here. So that's the opening oracle card to this entire reading. And that's what we're looking at here, okay? We're talking about a friendship. I'm not seeing like a rat card or other cards that would indicate some sense of betrayal at this point. When I'm looking at these cards, it remains to be seen. I'm not seeing anything of nefarious nature. Now, then we have the Ladder card. The Ladder card is about stepping up, moving up, getting higher, getting higher. Now, one of the meanings to this card is stepping up in life. Now, I know that there's been allegations that the renter, Jordan, is a scientist and maybe he's doing something, to garner, like, what they call like a mad scientist type of deal, garner some sort of recognition for doing something, poisoning allegedly his friends. That's what I'm hearing from people, saying that he caused their death somehow, some way, or he knows something. But when I looked at this card, the first thing that popped in my head was higher, getting higher. These men, and probably including Jordan, allegedly wanted to get higher, which led to their demise with this death card. The first keyword to the death card, to the skull card, is death. A change, an end of a cycle. Thoughts or knowings of mortality. One thing I do suspect is that maybe he may have known more about them passing than having anything to do with it, and wishing that he didn't know or didn't think or didn't have insights about the fact that they died. Now, the wish card, which is kind of hard to see, this is about a desired outcome, hoping for the impossible. Hoping for the impossible. What would be the impossible? For his friends to not be deceased. Now, of course, this could be present and future energies. He wishes that wasn't the case, Jordan, or it could be around that 48-hour period that maybe, like maybe he had a sense of dread, a sense of like knowing that this is, something bad happened. Something bad happened. A wish, some people would maybe interpret that maybe he wished for them to be dead. I'm not interpreting it this way. That's not how I'm interpreting the cards, but I can, respect other people's take on what's coming up in these cards. Okay, so then we have the Mirror, and I am like, hold on one second. I'm trying to get my pictures together so I can see them. Okay, so self-reflection, reevaluating your perceptions, vanity. This is what also leads me to some sort of reflection, some sort of knowing something, some sort of knowing about something, about their friends wanting or getting high or wanting to get higher. Could this be more inebriated with alcohol? Could it be more lit? I don't know. But reflection, also reflecting back on and having some sort of survivor's guilt. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on here with that. Then we have the Harp card. It's about peace. Peace. Immediately, almost immediately is what I'm sensing Spirit is saying here. Peace befalling on the men. Not like a painful, drawn out death. I could be wrong, but peace. Making peace with, having to make peace with knowing about this needing to get elevated, needed to get higher on Jordan's part, having to make peace with that. Again, that survivor's guilt I'm picking up on. Also, this card can represent like benevolence, not wishing any harm, etc. towards his friends. Then we have the Diamond card. Okay, so this is about something of value. Enduring love, clarity, purity, a promise. Now it is under the skull card, which is interesting to me, a promise. But I did hear, and this is, hearsay, I don't, a rumor, but I did hear that Jordan, the home renter, had bought some tickets or something for his friends. He had, I guess, before had bought like football game tickets for this set of friends. So they were close enough for him to do that. So it does beg the question, like if he was like so willing to do those nice things, would he be so inclined as to take their lives or to do something nefarious or poison them allegedly or any of those things? I'm not picking up on that. Now, we do need to discuss, though, the Saturn card. Adversity, hardships, male sexuality or dominance, authority and control, and being subjected to such things. I am going to go out on a limb here, okay? And this is just my opinion, my intuitive hit. But I'm wondering if they did take something willingly. They did want to try something as a group, as friends. They wanted to celebrate. They were having a great time. And that they are dealing with someone who like maybe Jordan is fearful of. Maybe it's someone who, had a hand in providing something to them. I don't know. Some sort of protection. This also literally could just be about the hardships that he's experiencing and wishing that things could have been different, since it's sitting underneath the wish card. We have different cards in the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle that can suggest that he poisoned them, or that he was a snake, or that he was a rat, or some other nefarious thing has happened. But I'm just not picking up on it. I'm just not. You all let me know what you think. I'm going to pause here and we're going to move on to the next deck of cards. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to work with the Divine Shadow Self Oracle. Spirit, what are the shadow energies surrounding these friends, surrounding what happened? Jordan, Clayton. Antisocial. Disconnection. That's true. Rejection. Grudge, bitterness, grief, depression, doubtful. Okay, so remember, we're looking at the shadow energies, and so I was really trying to tap into like the energy surrounding the renter, Jordan, and his friends who passed away, and maybe even the friend who was there earlier. But sometimes what ends up happening is we end up honing in on other energies like that are surrounding the people involved, okay? So you'll see what I mean by that in a moment. We have antisocial and disconnection. Well, no shit, Sherlock. So Spirit was like wanting just to point out that, yes, he was truly disconnected, like he's saying. Like, I guess people were sending Facebook, like a message through Facebook. He didn't see it. People were calling. He has an unknown blocker on his phone, he's saying. He actually, it seems like aside from this set of friends, he's not always a social person. He's quite disconnected, and perhaps he prefers it that way. So I guess Spirit is wanting us to know that there is actually some truth to it, as crazy as it may sound. Also, him not leaving the home. If he works from home, I'm not 100% sure if he does or not. If he works from home, then maybe he doesn't go outside. It's been cold out there. It's winter time. If you work from home, maybe you get all the things you need, for food and all the things you would need, so you don't have to go out for days at a time. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't go out every single day out of my house. And there are certain parts of the house on the outside that I would never see. I would never walk the property and see. Now, with that being said, the one thing I am a little perplexed on is that people said that they came by and knocked on his door, and he just didn't hear it. Now, I don't, that part is a little odd to me. The technology part, that totally makes sense with this antisocial disconnection and not picking up your phone and not answering, and maybe just being two sheets to the wind, or, recovering from a hard Sunday night of partying. But yeah, I also get a sense that he may have been just rejecting answering the door. We have grudge here and bitterness. This leads me to believe that, yes, they were good friends. We see that here with the Sun card right there. They were good friends, and they were basically in a great place. But that night, there may have been something going on where he was like, I'm checked out. I'm done. I'm going to bed. You all do you. I'm tired. And this is why the details are murky from him. Whatever they had, he may have in his system as well. And so when the police are saying that he's in full cooperation, that could also mean that maybe he took some sort of test, and he has already revealed to police about some things that was going on with the ladder card, wanting to get higher. So this is what leads me to believe that this is why police are like, I don't know about, there being foul play, because of what he's been saying to them, what kind of samples he's given, because, they're, checking things, not just tox screens for the deceased, but tox screens for him. And the law enforcement was also very much indicating all the time since this happened that he's been fully cooperating. They can't release in what ways he's been fully cooperating, but this is what my intuition is telling me in the ways that he's been fully cooperating, okay? But something could have went like a little left that night. I'll say that. Only because we have the grudge and bitterness. Now these are the cards that this card, grudge, bitterness, and doubtful, is the ones that are telling me that we're picking up on some of the energies surrounding these gentlemen's family and friends and the community at large, the public. People are doubtful. He's starting to doubt his own innocence, even though I'm not picking up on nefarious things. I'm picking up on knowledge about wanting to step up, get higher, ascend, elevate, get lit, all that, allegedly. But, this is leading him to grief and depression. And that there have been people who have expressed, probably in his inboxes, coming up to his house, calling him, calling his job and trying to get him fired if he hasn't already taken a leave of absence, that they have a grudge, that they are bitter, and they are rejecting what he's saying here about the events. It also would explain, like, if he knew or had an inkling, like maybe got a text message. I don't know what he got. I don't know. And I'm not going to delve too far into that. But maybe one of you all know if he got text messages, like directly, like SMS messages to his phone. Maybe he was like kind of feeling a little like tired of his friends, like just maybe they've partied hard before. And he's like, I don't know where they're at. They're not here. So they're not my problem. And I'm still recovering. I'm still having issues. Also, there's depression. Now, depression and grief makes sense. He just lost 3 of his friends, Jordan. There's a lot of grief around these 3 men's passing. So there's a lot of grief, depression. But this also could represent maybe him being in a depressed kind of state, like a down, like going down, like a downer, or taking downers. I don't know. Like, and maybe he was depressed before. Maybe that's why he's antisocial, allegedly. I don't know. But I don't know why I'm getting downers. I don't know. Anyways, that's what comes up for me. Let me know in the comment section what comes up for you when you're seeing these cards. Have you pulled cards on this situation? If so, definitely feel free to share your insights as to what comes up for you. Or if you haven't pulled cards, but you're looking at these cards, let me know what you think. I have one more oracle part that I want to do. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, so let's tap into the energy surrounding the 3 Kansas City Chiefs, the friends. Okay, so let me just show you so far what we've got. We got man, drowning, drama-filled, private property. Okay, so then we got active case, murder for hire, isolated, death, wooded area, propaganda. Interesting. Trapped. Anything else there? Backyard, wow. Let's see what Spirit's trying to say. Accusations, oh my gosh. City. Anything else, Spirit? I was hoping that Spirit would illuminate something, Father, illuminate something like, oh, drugs, like very overt, like, okay, poison or something like that. The only thing that stands out to me is the murder for hire, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. So we have man drowning, drama-filled private property. And how I read these cards is, yes, I read them individually, but I look across. I also look at the cards below and like diagonal, okay? So what I'm taking forth here is Spirit is directing us to private property. This is someone's home or someone's land, or this occurred on, I'm thinking whenever the death took over, it was while they were outside. Some people were thinking, well, maybe he gave them something, Jordan gave them something inside, and that could very well be, but then them going outside is what led to their demise. Okay? That's what I'm picking up on here, because we have the private property over the death card. We have drowning. So drowning can be typically at the hands of the person who is going out into the water. Every now and then you can force upon drowning on somebody else, but typically drowning is when you are making a choice to be in the water, be by the water, to jump in, to dive in. And whatever it was drama filled. And I sensed that, whatever it was like, okay, we're doing this, we're partaking, we're going to do it. And then things started to move outside. And Jordan, he knows his home. He knows how to get to his bed. He goes to lay down, maybe lays down on the couch, but he knows how to move around his little castle. So he goes inside. He's sleeping. He's doing what he needs to do to try to recover here. But they are not necessarily doing all that. I'm saying that because we've got private property. We have wooded area. We have backyard. We also have rural or country. Again, Spirit is just like outside, 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 outside. Death. Death. Whatever it was, knock them out. Knock them out. Death became, and there's people saying that you can't freeze to death in 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. However, I've known people who've suffered hypothermia at warmer temperatures. I mean, even in California. So I get what people are saying, that it wasn't that cold for the area, but it's still cold enough that if your body was going through other physiological changes from whatever they consumed here, that they wanted to get higher and higher and higher, whatever was going on with that coupled with being outdoors is what led to their deaths. Okay. Drama feel, like I said before, there could have been some ruckus, some sort of disagreement happening. But again, that wasn't the proximate cause of what led to them going outside and being outdoors. And I guess the doors were locked and this or that. I'm sensing that he did lock them, but it wasn't necessarily I'm really picking up that Jordan felt like they were off the premises. It's the strangest thing. It is strange that that is just strange, but that's what I'm picking up on energetically. We have isolated. He locked the door. He thought, sometimes you walk by your door and you see it unlocked and you're like, oh, what's this doing unlocked? Let me lock it. not even giving any forethought to looking outside. It's like a series of little innocent enough events, but yeah, it can look suspicious to those of us outside of it. But in his mind, he was like, I don't get why everybody's, picking on me. The man card could denote the men involved. It could denote him, like this could be a significator for Jordan. I don't know. He could be like, I'm drowning in this situation. If they're not careful, he may even, God forbid, try to take his own life, God forbid. But this is a situation that could push someone to the edge, okay? This murder for hire, I know that there are people thinking that there's a conspiracy theory around what happened to these men. But let me show you something. We have drowning, murder for hire, propaganda, and accusations. This is all in one line. What this tells me is that this is propaganda. We need to cool our jets and wait for the answers to come, because there's a lot of he said, she said, a lot of people blowing up things up in their mind, and then therefore blowing things up in the media and blowing things up in social media. And it's getting these accusations are getting a mind of their own. Now, of course, it could mean that. It could mean, and we can always do a subsequent reading to explore this card, just this card alone. But I'm looking at the totality of all the cards, and from what I'm seeing here, I'm not picking up that he is like the cause of what happened. I think it was just a terrible situation that led to this unfortunate event. That's what I'm picking up on here. He feels isolated. They could have been isolated, stuck outside. Sometimes we get in situations and we don't even know that we could have just opened the door to go in because we're so stoned or so high or so lit or so whatever. Or it could be that we didn't know we could hop a fence. People we've heard of cases where it's so perplexing, because it was like, oh, if they just would have walked through this door, they just would have opened the freezer door that they were stuck in a refrigerator, or they just would have did this or just would have did that. But that didn't happen. It was like they were trapped. Okay, that didn't happen. Trapped outside in their mind, in their diminished state of mind. They were trapped. They felt trapped. This is an active case. Law enforcement is trying to push this forward, get it done, as wrapped up as soon as possible, because they know that people want answers. They want answers. They're demanding answers, and I think answers are coming fairly soon. Even though there's many other cases in Kansas City that law enforcement's tending to, they're making this a priority to try to see if the tox screens could be pushed out as soon as possible. The autopsy can be done as soon as possible. It is actively being worked. I know some people are like, the police are not doing enough. They are not investigating all angles. And the only criticism I would give for law enforcement is maybe they should not have rushed to. I get why they would say no foul play to try to prevent, some kind of scrutiny coming on against Jordan. But I think there could have been a better way of wording it, in a way of like, and I'm no expert, maybe that's the best that they could do. And people still got caught up in Jordan did something and he's responsible. And, maybe it just would have taken off that way anyway. As such, though, because of all of the attention, we will get answers sooner than, say, no attention had been put on here. And there could be, I will assure people that law enforcement did look at, and there is maybe one or two law enforcement officers who are just making sure they're covering their bases and, they may not inform the public that they are ruling out, foul play. They may not say, like, we are still, actively doing that, because they know that Jordan will sustain, like, he'll get more scrutiny. So the law enforcement doesn't always share every aspect of what they suspect or what they are doing. And they may even lead us to believe that they're not even investigating when they are. So these two cards are telling me they are investigating. And so we know that they perished here in the backyard. And that is where they their demise was. And some people were like, oh, well, he poisoned them or something happened. Maybe they, had OD'd or something. I don't know. Even though the family's saying they don't do drugs. And I get it. And I understand that. But people are saying that he could have done something to them and dragged their bodies outside. But I'm getting the sense that Spirit keeps telling us, no. It didn't happen that way. He didn't move their bodies anywhere. They perished outside. I'm not quite sure what the city or urban card is standing for. Maybe there's somebody who knows something in the city, knows about whatever substances that, may come up in the talk screen. I don't know. Someone who is a father, who may have been the one who brought something or knows something. I don't know. Or somebody's father knows something related to this case, or someone is a father who may have brought the little, brought whatever it was to their doorstep. Because I suppose it could be just alcohol or some sort of, what do they call it? 80 proof or like 100 proof alcohol or something like that. I suppose it could be that. And that could be a downer. I kept picking that up earlier in the reading. Downer, downer, downer. But I'm sensing that it could have been something else, some other kind of substance, allegedly. And that a man, maybe even someone, in the midst of the friend group who was hooking the friends up, and they were going to celebrate and enjoy themselves. And that's what they were going to do. And it just went all awry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop here, friends. This is the detail opening oracle reading. I do have some questions for a tarot reading I will see if I have time to get it out for Mystery Mystic Monday. If not, it may go up on Tuesday. If you see both of them together, you will see that I've pushed through and got through it. So this is part 1. This is the detail opening oracle reading. I'd love to hear what you all have to say about what the cards have to say, what came up, what I'm interpreting, what my interpretations are, and certainly what your interpretations are. Let's be kind and cordial to one another and to the families. And again, my sincerest condolences to the loved ones of each of these men. My heart goes out to all of the loved ones, because I know this is a very difficult time. And with limited answers, it could just compound the grief even more. Do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, friends, it's really late here. I'm not going to even tell you how late it is. I just can assure you sunrise might be coming up. So I'm going to go to bed and then circle back and do part 2 for the tarot reading in a separate video. So stay tuned for that. Take care and bye for now.